World wars share something else as well. They are massive change agents. Winning or losing this global war will shape global values and define our security and way of life long into the 21st century. Now, today we share a core strategic interest in coalition victory in Syria and Iraq, and the end for Daesh in Syria and Iraq requires our concentrated and dedicated action, and it is a priority for all of us in the region. Yet winning the war for the future, I believe, requires more. We need to acknowledge that Daesh is only part of a global threat. Failed states, conflict zones, and sectarian divisions have been fertile grounds for this cancer. It has instigated violence and inhumanity across borders and lured agents from across the world. We in this room know better than anyone that no region has been exempt. This is why I cannot overstate the importance of a holistic approach, looking at it from a global perspective. We cannot succeed by focusing on uprooting Daesh from Syria and Iraq, while other terrorist groups and affiliates strengthen in Africa and Asia. It is time for a new level of global action, focusing on our resources, coordinating our responsibilities, and synchronizing our military and security efforts. Our countries, our international institutions, must work collectively as a truly global alliance. Now, we as Arabs and Muslims have a responsibility and duty to be in the lead in the fight against the Khawarij, or outlaws of Islam. This is a war to protect our religion, our values, and the future of our people. But it is also an effort that must be global in partnership, just as it is global in scope. All our peoples are threatened by the outlaws' ideology of violence and contempt for human life. To counteract this threat, our countries must be equally committed to the ideas that unite us in this war, from shared humanity to the search for political solutions to the importance of global justice. The Syrian refugee crisis is an urgent case in point, as has been outlined by many of us already, and one of the biggest humanitarian tragedies of our age. And as is unfolding, as we have been witnessing on our shores and on our borders. And nowhere has this been more closer to home than in my country, Jordan, which now hosts 1 Syrian for every 5 Jordanians. Our world must also act as one on the diplomatic front. The killing in Syria has to stop if we are to move forward and find a political solution, one that protects Syria's independence and integrity. And it also enables the Syrian people to live with dignity and enjoy the rights they deserve. Achieving that solution is key to winning this war together and will help us focus on the global threat. My friends, there are other key steps that we have to take together. Supporting the Iraqi government in clearing its towns and villages of the control of Daesh also requires support for serious steps towards reconciliation, and we should not allow sectarian and religious differences to be used to advance political agendas or to gain influence. And the community of nations cannot talk about universal rights and global justice, but continue to deny statehood to Palestinians. This failure has created a festering injustice and continues to be exploited by Daesh and its kind. Our whole world has paid the price. Left unresolved, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict can and probably will become a religious conflict of a global dimension. And it is only a matter of time before we may be faced by yet another war in Gaza or in South Lebanon. This is why reaching a two-state solution should remain a priority for us all. Lastly, my friends, I'd like to add a word about Europe. Europe clearly has a special interest in supporting us across the Mediterranean. But it is also essential not to ignore the challenges that face us in the Balkans. Muslim-majority countries in the Balkans deserve our support to preempt the threat of extremism. These countries are Europe's front line against extremism and its first line of defense. Nothing could be more costly to Europe than rising instability and extremism in the Balkans. It is therefore vital to shut out extremists on all sides who seek to manufacture division in that area of the continent. And a key challenge today lies in the ability of some to take advantage of the cover of Islam to advance political agendas in the Balkans that are not in the interest of Europe. And this is something we should act together to prevent. And I appeal to you here to reach out to countries such as Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, and Kosovo, because these countries, including others in the Balkan regions, should be an integral part of Europe's architecture and pillars of your security as well as your prosperity. Bringing them closer to you as models of coexistence, moderation, and tolerance will be so important so that they can become Europe's front line of stability. And I do hope that here at the Munich Security Conference, we can address this issue. Let us not find ourselves meeting again in a few years' time to discuss threats that we could have well avoided and prevented. It is you, the national and international leaders gathered here, who know best what we are up against. And it is you who can best help our countries come together in response. For if we do not act now, the dangers will only grow. And if we do not act in concert, we will miss further opportunities for success. Thank you very much.